Given it was so significant then, clearly it must have featured pretty large in your conversation with James Murdoch.
Listen, it was the reason that we had to settle the case, and in order to settle the case we had to explain the case to Mr Murdoch and get his authority to settle. So certainly it would certainly have been discussed. I cannot remember the detail of the conversation, and there isn't a note of it. The conversation lasted for quite a short period, I would think probably less than 15 minutes, or about 15 minutes. It was discussed, but exactly what was said I cannot recall.
But given it was such a significant piece of information, surely you would have shown it to Mr Murdoch.
Well, not necessarily.
Can I see this?
And there's actually, I've been reminded since that there's a very good reason for that, which I had forgotten. But and that is that when we were given copies, when the copy of the email came into our building to me, and I think just to me, I had to sign a written undertaking which was required either by the Metropolitan Police or by Gordon Taylor's lawyers, or possibly by both, that I could not make any copy of that document, and I was very restricted about what I could say about it to other people. And I think that was probably insisted upon by Gordon Taylor, because the document contained personal information of Gordon Taylor's, and he was very, his lawyers were very, very sensitive about where that information went.
I mean, this committee was given a severely redacted version.
Not by Gordon Taylor.
No, indeed.
By the Guardian.
By the Guardian, but presumably you could have shown him sufficient to demonstrate how important this was without necessarily...
I can't remember whether I showed it to him or not. I certainly didn't make a copy of it. But I do know that I discussed it with him.
Ms Myler, what's your recollection of these events?
Well, Mr Crone came to me, I think, on the morning or probably after conference, and explained the situation regarding the evidence that presented to us by Mr Taylor's legal team, and clearly it was something that we would need to take to the chief executive. I said to him that I didn't know whether James Murdoch was available. As it turned out, he was in the country and he was in the office that day. I called, my secretary called his office, and I think in the afternoon, mid or late afternoon, we went to see him, and Mr Crone came, swung by my office, and we went down to see him in the afternoon.